Welcome back to Mac Talks of Football, and Tomiyasu has left Arsenal by mutual agreement. They have not, extended his contract. There was an option to extend his contract, and it has, been mutually decided that Arsenal don't want to do that, and Tomiyasu has agreed that he also doesn't want to renew his contract, and he is gonna leave Arsenal. To be very honest with you, I'm really bummed off about this one. I mean, because I think Tomiyasu is a really great player. He's one of those players. He sort of reminds me of Abu Dhabi. It is one of those cases. I mean, he was excellent. The first couple of seasons. And then that injury happens, and then that sort of really derails his career at Arsenal. And he never really recovered after it, if I'm being very honest with you. I mean, and the fact that he was the thing that really hurts in a way is like, because he had so much potential as a player. Whenever when he was playing, you could always expect a solid game. 8.5 performance from Tomiyasu. You never really were worried that you were going to be in trouble. He could play as a right back, he could play on that left hand side, he could play as a center back as well. So he gave you that versatility as well. And as he said, he was such a humble guy, always working hard, put his head down and got on with it. Never any issues with the manager, never any issues on social media, nothing, just doing his work. And very rarely did you see him having a bad game until that injury happens, and then after that he never really recovered. Coming back from one injury, then getting injured again, then coming back, then getting injured again. Unfortunately, he's still injured. He's not going to be able to play football for about another 4 or 5 months. So it is a sad thing to see a player who was really good, who always when he played he performed, and then to see him go in a way like that. I don't really think that if he was consistently playing, I don't think he was is gonna let go. I think his contract would have been extended, but it is one of those things that you can say that it's a sensible thing to do, but it is again in a way it is a sad thing as well. To see a player not being able to play football, to see a player go in a way like that. I mean, it is a sad state of affairs, if I'm being very honest with you. He has went on his social media and he has posted about how he loved playing for Arsenal, how the fans were really good with him. He has thanked the teammates, he has thanked the coaches, the usual stuff. And I in a way it feels like there's no hard feelings between the club and the player. And I mean, this is the best possible outcome out of this solution, because I understand and there are a lot of Arsenal fans who who think in a way that we should have extended his contract until he was fit, until his injury was completed, and then we should have given him a year's wages and let him stay at Arsenal, let him be a part of the club. And I get their point, and I sort of understand where they are coming from. And it's not like it's the first time we have done this before for Santi Cazorla. We have done this before for Mohamed Al-Nani as well. But in a way, I mean, Tomiyasu, I sort of think, I'm just speculating here, but I think it is just because of the age factor. I think Tomiyasu is still quite young, irrespective to Mohamed Al-Nani or Santi Cazorla, their ages. It's very hard to get new clubs. I don't think it's going to be that much hard for Tomiyasu, and I still think he's going to get a good amount of package, and I still think he's going to be able to get a new club quite quickly, in my opinion, because of the way the personality of the person, the personality of the player, the way that he plays. And I said, he's so versatile. He's going to have so many clubs after him, even though he is injured. I don't think he's going to be clubless for a longer time. I mean, maybe there is already somebody interested in him and they are ready to take him on. We don't know that what happens in the background. In so many cases we just speculate and we talk about things, and I think maybe there is already a deal in place and they don't really want to go ahead and say stuff, say it openly, and they are waiting to let the time pass and in a way do things properly, let him also leave Arsenal in a professional manner. And in a way, as he said, he has started posting on social media thanking the fans and all of that, and Arsenal themselves have started they've posted on social media, they've announced that he's going to leave the club by mutual consent. And I think it is it is a perfect way to part ways with a player who again I would say, there was not one incident in his 4 to 5 year stay at the club where there was any bad press from him. I mean, you have players, you hear about them constantly on social media, talking about stuff, going at people and whatnot, but he was one of those players just keeping his head down, and he used to do his job. And and that is what in a way makes you really sad, that you had such a consistent player, consistent performer, and you could literally see him rising to the top. He was getting better and better, and then that injury happens, and that's it is part and parcel of life, but that sort of derails his complete career. I mean, the guy could have stayed for Arsenal for another 3-4 years if those injuries don't happen, if he continues to play the way that he was doing for the first couple of seasons. But again, the injuries happen, and then that basically goes away. And in a way, it shows that how the club have moved completely. I mean, we have seen before players getting constantly injured, but Arsene Wenger used to continue to extend their contracts and kept giving them chances. I mean, I already talked about Abu Dhabi. We can talk about Robin Van Persie, Jack Wilshere, Aaron Ramsey. I mean, so many of those players who have been consistently injured. We knew there were talent in those players, but they continuously kept on getting injured. I mean, Thomas Rosicky is another one. I loved Rosicky, but and in a way, again, I don't want to sound like a prick, but I sort of understand why the club are doing this. I mean, there are a lot of sentiments in this club, and that is why I love Arsenal. I mean, one of the reasons that I love this club is we are in my opinion, one of the few clubs that really go by sentiments. Like they are still considered family in a way. The respect that we have for our players and and the fans and all that. There are very few clubs that still do that, and that is why I love it, and that's why I love being an Arsenal fan. But this is practical, and I sort of understand why they're doing it. He's not going to be able to play for the next 5 months, and this is, again, it's not like we are there was a contract already in place and we are canceling it. It's not like that. There was an option to extend, and I think he has also understood that, and I think the club has also understood that there's no use of extending that contract. Even let's say, for example, he's not going to be able to play for 4 to 5 months, and then he's going to take at least a month and a half to be fully fit. That's like 6 months of your contract gone, and then maybe he has to fight to come back into the place. And this is a World Cup year as well. I keep on saying a lot of these decisions are going to be made in keeping in mind of the World Cup, and that is going to be that's going to be a social essential thing as well. So it will be quite interesting to see what happens for Tomiyasu further down on, and that is why I think that he has agreed as well. As I said before, I think that the deal has already done, and I think the club is moving forward in a way that they are not completely taking the sentiments away, but they are being practical. And I think we need to be practical, because when you're fighting against a club like Manchester City, or you're fighting a club like Liverpool, who have already in place, there's no place of sentiments. There's no place for sentiments, and you need to act, and you need to be, unfortunately, you need to be ruthless. And I think that is why they have decided. But for me, I think it's a sad thing that he is gone. But for me, I mean, thank you Tomiyasu. He has been always been a great player, and I hope that wherever he goes, he can be, he can play, the way that he wants to be. That's from me in this video. Let me know what you guys think of the entire situation in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well. Click on the notification bell, and of course, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 600 subscribers before the end of this year, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.